Your word is more than just a theme. It's your compass for the year ahead. It's a reminder that you are in control of your story, your dreams, and your growth. A single word becomes a lens through which you view your actions and your opportunities. You're never too busy, too tired, too old, or too anything to pursue your dreams. Welcome to the Distracted Dreamer podcast, where you'll learn how to move all those never-ending distractions aside and chase your dreams with confidence. Well, hello, friends. If you've been here before, it's so good to have you back. And if you're new here, welcome to the Distracted Dreamer family. I'm your host, Carlene, and I gotta tell you, I struggled with what to talk about this week with it being the holidays. So I decided to keep this light and fun and give you a way to still be thinking about your dreams for 2025, but in a no-pressure kind of a way. So with 2025 just around the corner, today's episode is about a practice that might sound simple and even silly, but I promise it's powerful. And we're talking about finding your word for the year. And maybe you've heard of this before, and you're thinking, oh no, here we go with this New Year's stuff. You're already here, so stick around and hear me out, okay? I don't do New Year's resolutions. They don't work. But I do this. I have a word every year, and it makes a huge difference when it comes to my dreams and overall happiness. So we're going to talk about why having one word is so important for you, your life, and your dreams. Then we're going to talk about exactly how you can find your word. And finally, we're going to talk about how you use this word throughout 2025. Now, this one word, it'll be your guidepost, your theme, your constant reminder to stay aligned with your dreams. Think of it as your North Star, a single word that holds you accountable, motivates you, and keeps you centered, no matter what life throws your way. So grab your favorite drink, let's cozy up, and let's dive in. First, I want to answer a question that I get asked a lot is, can I have more than one word? Absolutely. Some people feel that they need one word for their personal life and another for their business or career. The secret here is don't get too bogged down and don't create words for every aspect of your life. You just kind of need one for your personal life or one for your business or just one for the entire year of how you want to show up for yourself. Okay? The reason I get asked this all the time is because sometimes personal and professional goals, they require different kinds of energies. So if this is you, give yourself permission to find two words for yourself. So for instance, peace could guide your personal life, helping you to slow down and focus on family, while scale could inspire you to expand your business or your career. What you can do is you can run through the steps that I'm outlining for you 2 times, one for each word. But right now, let's just think about this as we're finding one word. At first, you might think, how can one word really make a difference? But there's real power in simplicity. And here's why. A single word gives you focus and clarity. A single word cuts through the noise and helps you prioritize what truly matters. Research shows that narrowing your focus reduces overwhelm and increases success. According to a 2020 study on goal setting, single, clear objectives, they're far more effective than juggling multiple vague ones. A word does just that. It simplifies your focus into something you can remember. The next thing that one word does is it gives you an emotional connection. Your word is personal. It carries meaning, and it evokes an emotional response that makes it easier to stay connected to your dreams. Psychologists have found that emotions are a driving force behind habits and behavior changes. Another thing that a word does for you is it's a constant reminder. Unlike resolutions, which fade usually by February, a word sticks. It's not tied to a to-do list or a timeline. It's a feeling, a state of being. Your word can guide you in both big decisions and small everyday decisions. And the last thing that a word does, it's kind of like a mindset booster. So neuroscience backs the idea of mental priming. You know, you've heard this. What we repeatedly focus on shapes our behavior. A single word becomes a lens through which you view your actions and your opportunities. Okay, so now I hope I have your buy-in for why a word, one word for you, can make all the difference. Those are the benefits. Next, I'm going to give you 5 steps to find your word for 2025. You might want to grab a pen and paper or open your notes app. It'll be really good to capture these steps for when you sit down to discover what your one word is. Now, finding the right word, it might take a little reflection, but it's worth it. So here's how to do it. First, if you are coming up with 2 words, reflect on your life areas separately. Think about your personal life in one reflection section, and think about your career or your business in a separate session, okay? Now, your first step after you've decided what part of your life you're focusing on, or if you're just coming up with one word for your whole life, you're going to start with reflecting on 2024. I know, sometimes we don't want to look back, but come on, just join me. Let's look at your 2024. You don't know what you're going to find there until you take a look back. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, what went well for me? And what didn't go well? Jot that down. Were there moments that you felt most alive or proud? What were those moments that lit you up? Write down some themes or feelings or words that come to mind as you think about this past year. Now, when you're done reflecting on 2024, you are going to dream about 2025. So, what's one area of your life that you want to improve? It could be relationships, finances, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual life, your social life. And what outcomes do you want to experience? Remember, this is not goal setting. Let me be very, very clear. This is not goal setting. This is a word that is your guidepost that is going to help you get up on those tough days and keep you going and keep you focused. Okay? So remember, do not set goals right now. This is not goal setting. And you also want to ask yourself, how do you want to feel, behave, and show up in 2025? Basically, the question is, who do you want to be? And one of the easiest ways to answer this question is to ask yourself, who do I not want to be? Like, I don't want to feel chaotic and stressed, or I don't want to be lonely or afraid or feel small. I don't want to be endlessly tired or depressed. So if you don't want to feel or be lonely, what do you want to be and feel? Maybe you want to feel connected. Maybe you want to feel social. Maybe you want to feel brave so that you can reach out to people. Maybe you just want to have an overall friendly demeanor about yourself. Now, this is all leading us up into step 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually brainstorm words. So start really broad. Think of words like balance, freedom, courage, grow, or joy. And then narrow it down by asking, does this word excite me? Does it feel true to what I need right now? And then the 5th step is test your word. Imagine yourself 6 months into 2025. Does this word still feel meaningful to you? If it doesn't light you up, keep exploring until you find one that does. Remember, you've got to feel the word deeply. It's got to hit you in the gut and get you back in your lane when you start to doubt yourself, or you start to struggle with making decisions, or things don't go right. You think of the word and boom, it puts you back in the game. Give it definition. That means something to you and what you are creating. So it's not enough to come up with a word. You got to give it a definition. So I'm going to use me as an example. So my word for 2025 is scrappy. What does this mean to me? I mean, I can tell you that if this is your word too, your definition could be very different, and that is perfectly fine. So my definition of scrappy means being resourceful, resilient, and bold to allow myself to take imperfect action. Yes, I suffer a wee bit from perfectionism, so this is very important for me. It's about getting things done even though I'm afraid or uncertain. It means showing up determined even if things are messy. I do not like messy. It makes me very uncomfortable, but I gotta start showing up being okay with that. being scrappy means saying yes to my dreams, even when it feels hard. It's about letting go of perfection and starting, even when I don't have a clear path or many of the answers. So that's my definition of scrappy. Yours could be completely different. So I'm going to be scrappy in 2025, and that's kind of a fun, easy word to remember. You see, the reason that this word scrappy came up for me is because this year I got kind of scrappy. I literally was at a point in my business where I was either going to shut it down or I was going to move it into a new era. It would have been very easy to just say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. But it's actually, I love coaching. I love working with people, and shutting it down just, oh my gosh, it just did not sit well with me. So I decided it's time to move my business into a new era. But I'm only one person and I can't do everything. So I made a super, super hard decision, and I literally cut back on my one-on-one coaching. And let me tell you, I love connecting with people one-on-one, and it kind of breaks my heart when I have to turn people away. But I'm still coaching 3 clients at a time. I can do that, and it gives me the space that I needed to start shifting my business. And the first thing in order for me to start shifting my business and how I want to serve people is this podcast. So it has given me the space to be here with you. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to launch a membership community. I want to be the catalyst for connecting people to other people. And there's so much strength and so much to reap from community. But I had to make a hard choice. I had to be scrappy about this. I had to do something that made me really uncomfortable. And it's really messy. I don't know what the next thing is. I don't know how this is going to turn out. And I got to be okay with that. I just got to be scrappy. I love coaching, and I will continue coaching in the community. I know this is creating space for me to support even more people. And yeah, sometimes scrappy is hard. And I have no regrets. I love this podcast and being with you. And I can't wait to open the doors for you to my community in 2025. Now, my point is, if you're wondering, what is your point? My point is, if you've already felt pulled to be different, to feel different, to serve differently, maybe that's a sign that that's what's meant for you in 2025. So what's tugging at your heart? Pay attention to that. Okay, you want to find your word and then write your definition for it. Next, you've got to use the words often throughout the year. If you have 2 words, you got to use both of them. If you have 1 word, you want to use that word often throughout the year. This part is so important. You've got to find ways to keep your word top of mind. So we got to figure out how to keep it visible and alive in your daily life. Here are some ideas. First, you want to create visual cues. Keep your word someplace where you can see it. Perhaps on your desk, maybe on your nightstand. Write it on a sticky note. Place it on your mirror. Add it to your phone wallpaper or your planner. That's the first thing. You want to make it visual. Number 2 is you want to call it out. What do I mean? I mean, you've got to call out when you notice yourself behaving your word. Yes, you want to behave like your word. So my word is scrappy. When I notice that I've launched something before it feels perfect, I got to call that out. Hey, Carlene, that was scrappy. When I tap into a resource or hire a podcast manager, which hiring people makes me extremely nervous, right? I got to call that out. I'm being scrappy. When I ask for help, I'm going to call it out and say, way to go. You're being scrappy. When I do something that scares me, oh yeah, that's scrappy. The most important thing is finding proof that you are being that word. You are acting in that way, and you're calling it out and celebrating it every opportunity you get. You've got to give the word energy. Okay, the next thing that you want to do to make sure that your word is front and center is you want to align your habits with your word. So for example, if your business word is scale, dedicate a weekly block of time to brainstorming growth strategies. If your personal word is joy, commit to scheduling one fun activity every weekend. The 4th thing that you want to do to keep it top of mind is you want to share it. Tell a friend or family member about your word. And if you're comfortable doing it, you can share it on social media to inspire others and hold yourself accountable. Whatever's your jam, go ahead, but make sure you share it. And number 5 is you want to make sure that you check in regularly. Set a monthly reminder to reflect. Am I living my word? And then give yourself permission to adjust your focus if needed. It's your word, and you can make it work for you. Maybe you need to tweak the definition a little bit. Let's talk about next steps. At the time that this goes live, okay, it's December. And yes, it's a great time for a word of the year. And if you're listening to this well beyond when it went live, I think it's important to not get caught up on, it's like when you want to start a diet, you say, well, if it's Thursday, I'll have to wait to start on Monday. No, don't do that. It's just an excuse to not get going. Just choose the word. Let's say you have 1 or 2 quarters left of the year. Make it a word for the quarter or for the next 6 months. Any time is a great time for the word of the year. What matters is that you choose a word. So here's what I want you to do. Find some time in the next several days and choose your word of the year. And it's got to be big and bold and mean something to you. It's got to get you out of bed in the morning. It's got to pull you through when things are really tough. And it's got to speak to your heart and your soul. I know this is a tall order, but it's important. Choose that word. And then I want you to come over to Instagram at coach_Carlene. And the link is below at the end of the show notes also. So just go click on that. And I want you to DM me your word. I'm so curious to see what everybody's words are for 2025. I might do an episode on that if I get enough responses. And so your word might be included in there. So DM me your word. I just think it would be really cool for you to share it. This is also a great thing to do with family and friends, as I mentioned before. And maybe send them a link to this episode, and then all of you can share your one word with each other and make it fun. This is supposed to be fun. This would be like a fun kind of holiday thing to do. As we wrap up, let's bring this back to the heart of the matter. Your dreams. Your word is more than just a theme. It's your compass for the year ahead. It's a reminder that you are in control of your story, your dreams, and your growth. Your word isn't just a nice idea. It's a practical tool to keep you aligned and moving forward. Think of it as your compass, helping you navigate challenges and make choices that honor the person that you're becoming. And when the fear, doubt, or the distraction threaten to pull you off course, your word will remind you of your why and help you recalibrate. So Scrappy, again, is my word for 2025. It's my reminder to get out of my own way, to let go of people-pleasing and perfectionism, and to take bold, imperfect action. And that's how I'll show up for my dreams this year. Scrappy, messy, and courageous. So your word can do the same for you. Whether it's brave, expand, steady, or something completely unique, it will act as your guidepost, theme, and motivator for pursuing your dreams. 2025 is yours to define. Choose a word that lights you up, that challenges you, and that pulls you closer to the life you're dreaming of. And remember, this is about progress, not perfection. And I hope you found this episode valuable. I love connecting with you in this way, and I hope to hear about your word of the year on Instagram. All right, my sweet friend, I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks so much for tuning in, and your dreams are waiting for you. Your time is now, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Oh, and one more thing. This is the legal language. The stuff that the lawyers put together, and they say that I need to read this to you. So here we go. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. I'm just your friend. I'm not a licensed therapist. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. Got it? Good. I will see you in the next episode.